All right, guys. Welcome to the last bi-weekly meeting for welcome to the last bi-weekly meeting for Space City Rocket 3. Sorry, I'm so sleepy. May 2nd, 2023. Hold on. Swear I'm sober. All right, shout out. Who has gone above and beyond in the last 2 weeks? Spaceport Housing. Update on our housing situation. What's going on with that? Fin progress. How much have we gotten done for the manufacturing of the fins and flight readiness review? What is required for the video review? You guys have heard us talk a lot about that. Pre-flight checklist, find out how you can help us at Spaceport. The technical report, when is that due? How are we gonna complete that? Or when are we gonna complete that? Upcoming events, what events are on the horizon? And lastly, you guys' favorites, the sub-team updates, what each sub-team has been working on. All right, first shout outs. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who attended the CDR. Everyone here, thank you so much. And for those who attended virtually, thank you as well. We could not do it without your help. It was very successful. We received a lot of great feedback, not just from the alumni, but from all of our stakeholders. We learned a lot, like the fact that 30 minutes was too little. So we'll definitely adjust that in the future. So moving forward, we've got a lot to cover, but I'll make it quick because I know it's finals week. Amy, thank you for taking notes during the CDR. Raj, thank you for pulling through last minute with the pictures. You did an awesome job. Thank you. Brandon and Izzy for those late night lab sessions. Thank you so much. You guys are putting in a lot of work. Wes for hosting the rocket fuel production. Orlando for those custom PCB designs, and Randy for donating $500. Thank you, Randy. Frankie, good job. I saw the picture of you cutting the steel tube by hand. You're amazing. I don't know how you do it. But that's all the shout outs you've got for this week. All right, next up, we've got Space Force Housing. So we have our house selected. It's, I don't know if you guys remember, we had like 2 options a couple of weeks ago. We went with the second option. The deposit has been placed, so we just need to pay off the rest soon. A little bit about this rental. It's got 3 bedrooms, 8 beds, and it sleeps 12 people. I don't know. I feel like it looks really cute. We're gonna definitely have a better experience this year as opposed to last year. Like, no shame to last year. We had a blast. I had a blast sharing that restroom. But this year we have 2 full bathrooms, guys. 2 full bathrooms. I want to say that's an upgrade for sure. Special amenities. We've got a balcony, basketball pad. I feel like that'd be cool for those who like to play basketball. A kitchen and grill area. So that'll be nice. All right, in progress.
Cool. So I know Structures probably has this in their update as well, but I wanted to give a highlight to it in our general slides to keep everyone up to date. But for those unaware, our fins this year are going to be made of carbon fiber, and we'll be utilizing Kevlar honeycomb to be sandwiched in between the layers of carbon fiber. So how exactly do we go about manufacturing that? Well, first, big thanks to Randy for his advice. He's pretty much the only reason why we've been able to pursue this route. In the past, we've just taken a full sheet of carbon fiber, cut out our dimensions, and then tack that onto our airframe. But this saves us a lot of weight. Each fin in that picture up there weighs about 18 grams, and they have now been successfully surface mounted to the airframe. But this began a few weeks ago with backing bagging with Randy. On our first try, we thought we did well, but then after going through the whole process, we found out that our dimensions were not ideal with how fine the margins are on your fin dimensions, especially for a big rocket like ours. We needed to get it right. So we made the decision to scrap that set of fins, which we'll probably use for testing later on, hopefully. Well, we tried it again with our second try, made sure to give us more room, and we were able to get it correct, and they look really, really nice. They're down to almost the exact dimensions that we want, which is perfect. We're now finished with surface mounting, so we just took some 5-minute epoxy, slapped it on both on the underside of the fin and then onto the airframe itself, and then press fit them. So they all should be exactly 120 degrees apart, thanks to Brandon's idea for the jig setup. So shout out to him. We'll be completing the fin method this Saturday, May 6th, by doing a tip-to-tip layup over all of the fins. So we'll pretty much take a whole layer of carbon fiber, run it across all of the fins throughout the entire airframe, soak a bunch of epoxy onto that, and then vacuum bag all the air out. Tried and proven method, especially by Randy and a lot of spaceport judges and officials. So we're glad that we're able to finally pull this off this year. There's a bunch of tasks that need to get done to get ready for that tip-to-tip layup. So I sent a screenshot or a picture of that schedule in the general chat on the Discord. So take a look if you're interested in coming to help out, and definitely pull up on Saturday. I'll coordinate a time with Randy soon and then let you guys know what time we decide. It'll most likely be in the afternoon though.
All right, third interim project review. So I know a lot of you that are here pretty much know a good idea of what's going on. So we had the third interim project review got split up into two different parts. Said this before, but I'll say it again. So we have the Hero X form submission, right? We got that done. We got that completed last Friday, I believe. And then the second part is a video teleconference, which essentially we're going to talk to the spaceport judges for like 2 hours. They're going to critique our rocket, ask us questions, do like a full in-depth analysis about it. You know, we'll have like our little phone camera and we'll be like walking around, showing everything that we've gotten done so far. And they'll be deciding if they think we're prepared with what they see in front of them, if they feel like we are ready for the next 2 months to safely launch our Shasta 6. If not, if they decide that we're not ready, they can choose to drop us from competition. And that's not fun. We do not want that to happen. So we will get as much as we possibly can done before then. So if you guys remember, the video or the flight readiness review, that's what they're calling it, is going to be happening May 15th. I think at noon is what we decided on. If you can't make it, let us know. We want as many of you guys there as possible. So yes, this one. All right, pre-flight checklist.
Cool. So another part, well, in addition to this May 15th deadline, we obviously have our technical report due on May 12th. These pre-flight checklists are going to be a big part of that tech report, and we're going to be working on them this week in the lab. There are physical copies from both Oberon and Zenith on the top shelf in the lab. For all of the sub-teams, I think it's the best that we put everything into one phase first, and then once we have all the tasks from all the sub-teams, at this point, just a rough idea of what needs to get done. And then we'll be able to separate it into more accurate phases as assembly goes along. So for those unaware, the phases are points at which every sub-team will put their hands down, stop working on stuff, and make sure that everyone's on the same page. We do this so that we don't have one sub-team assemble their stuff much quicker than another and then sits there and waits, or has an issue with inserting it into the rocket or interfering with other sub-teams and the team as a whole. So yeah, let's focus on just getting all the tasks down first, and then we'll split them up into phases.
And then if you scan the QR code, it'll just redirect you to all of the pre-flight checklists that we have. Yes, please, everybody don't scan it at once. Okay. All right, technical report. Woo! All right, this is a great opportunity to get acquainted with some of the terminology that's that we use on the team, as well as just if you are interested in becoming a lead for next year, this is a great opportunity to just get yourself familiar with not only the responsibilities, but also, you know, what we do on the team, the amount of responsibility and work that goes into it. So definitely something that I recommend. Plus, it's a great experience. Once you get to spaceport, you know, you'll have a better understanding of what we do in general. We want to have at least 3/4 of it done by the new target date. Originally, we wanted it done by May 1st. But everyone has a lot going on with finals and school and life. So we moved it to Monday, May 8th. We want to have at least 3/4 done because we want to be able to receive feedback from alumni and our peers and things like that. So we want to be able to make any last minute changes if necessary before submitting the final technical report. The QR code that you see in front of you just takes you and redirects you to the technical report. That's all it does. Feel free to scan if you don't have access to it. If not, no, we can move on. Thank you, Gabe. I feel so valid. All right, upcoming events. So paintball social, unfortunately, is canceled. We have a lot going on, and we have a lot of technical stuff to get done before May 15th, as you guys know. So unfortunately, we had to cancel the paintball social, but we will be having a social after May 15th, for sure. Not sure what's gonna happen yet, but we'll have it done. Okay, avionics and recovery ground test. So essentially, that's just gonna be us testing out the avionics system, making sure that avionics is flight ready, and making sure that everyone's familiar with the process as well as recovery. I don't know if you guys attended any of the ground tests from last year. They're pretty fun, super laid back, really chill. I know it sounds really stressful, but it's a really good practice to prepare us for spaceport. After that, we have the flight readiness review that I keep talking about the video where they're gonna, talk to us, where we're gonna talk to the judges and answer their questions. They're also supposed to answer our questions. So if you guys have any questions for them, just keep that in mind. That'll be happening Monday, May 15th, right before Robbie leaves us for the summer, right? And then lastly, Spaceport America Cup. It'll be happening June 19th through the 24th. If you guys include driving time, that'll be June 18th through the 25th. So we'll be that I know it sounds far, but I swear it's like creeping up on us. And we have to have at least half of the rocket done by May 15th. So I know we have a lot going on. There's a lot of work to still be done, but I know that we can do it, guys. Like, I know it might require some late night times in the lab, but I know we can do it. I'll be there. All right, first off, analysis with their updates. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Hi guys. So we're just gonna be going over a quick overview of the latest Open Rocket file. Yeah, so one of the biggest changes to the Open Rocket design is that the fins have been moved up an inch. You can see it in the top right corner right there. And the latest apogee is currently 37,800 feet. However, this is on Open Rocket, so we're still gonna be using Rocket Sim Pro to get the most accurate read. The current flight time is estimated to be like around 7 minutes, and the lateral distance is only 1.2 miles. So that's like some pretty good news for the team that's actually gonna be going out to recover it. The current task that we're working on is keeping up to date with any changes that happen to the official design and finishing up that technical report that you guys were just talking about. And that's it for analysis.
Thank you. All right, next up, avionics, the sub-team with Riz.
So that's what everyone's thinking. Okay, so for our complete task, task third.
The camera's over here, sorry. It's confusing, I know. Okay, just so everyone knows, the camera's on this laptop, and then the buttons to control the presentations on this side.
Shouts to Kurt for getting us our another SRAD antenna. Now we can actually test our ground station and the code for it. And also we got a new PC, well, more computers for us to actually use the ground station. At the moment, all we have to do is manufacture SRAD PCB and actually jam those things into the avionics bay. So in time for the ground testing by May 15th. Also the coding for it to extract the data in such a way that's actually usable. I know that was a problem with last year's avionics, but this year it should be completely good to go. I'll be doing that. And also, yeah, that's about it. I mean, right now, it's just getting our avionics bay done at this point and getting our PCBs manufactured. But that's gonna be also shout out to Orlando for that as well. He's been up all night doing that all the time. That should be good for everyone.
All right, thank you, avionics. Thank you, Orlando, for staying up and working on those CAD files. All right, payload. Let's go payload. Woo, Izzy.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good week. Good luck on finals, to those of you that have them still. So for completed tasks, Brandon and I epoxied the tube connectors to the FECU lid, put some fillets in there, so they're really not going anywhere. Raj helped solder the electronics. Those pictures are on the right there. Teamwork makes the dream work. The steel plate was cut by Ozzy, so it came in, and then Brandon taught me how to use the belt sander, so I sanded that down, and then we raked that out so that you don't get any cuts when you handle it. The electronics configuration is pretty good. Sadly, no duct tape, but we'll be good. Kevin can figure it out. We need to finish machining the steel tube on the right there. We'll play the video soon, but Frankie sawed the tube by hand, and then I do have videos of him with the angle grinder that we did not put on there, but he worked very well. He worked very hard. Just let Frankie do his thing when it comes to that stuff. We got to debug the code for the Adelogger. ChatGPT, shout out to you. Thank you. And then we'll work on pre-flight checklists, of course, add those to the technical report, finish up those sections. I'm going to cut the payload access panel in the coupler and the airframe, and then we have to cut the negatives for that. That one of the rough cuts is down there in the pictures. It should turn out okay. It would be very unfortunate if I ruined the airframe. Future tasks will detail upkeep instructions. The flies are on their way. If not, I will call the company and harass them a little more, but we'll test that a little bit. And then the SCL payload challenge submission isn't due to like 2 weeks before, but we're like pretty set, so I'm sure we can submit it anytime soon.
Thank you, payload. All right, next up, propulsion. We got Scott.
Hello, this was a big week for us because we finally made rocket fuel, which was amazing because we've been thinking about doing it for like a whole year now. So we did this. So on minor details, we made the motor bigger. We made it 54 millimeters from something like, what was it, like 29 or 35, somewhere in that region. We made it bigger, but we went over to one of our team members, Wes's apartment, and made it on his back porch, like a little balcony, because UH won't let us do it here, and we found confirmation on that. So in the future, we're still working. Also, you see the casing that, or the little molds that we put the fuel in, and the fuel is potassium nitrate sugar. It's not the stuff we plan to use it in the end, but it's just something to work with right now and get practice with. The little grain castings were put inside something that Aussie printed with a resin 3D printer. So shout out to Aussie for helping us with that. We're still working on sourcing the ammonium perchlorate composite propellant materials and all that stuff. Still work in progress, but we're doing the sugar at the current moment. And we will start working on the equipment we're going to use to test the ammonium perchlorate fuel. We're just going to test that with the potassium nitrate. So we can keep on working and developing the tools we need without actually having the materials quite yet. Yeah, in the future, ammonium perchlorate stuff needs to be done, and then we're going to be testing all this fuel out. And here we have a bunch of pictures. So you can see Wes and Parsa in the garage, and then the 3 fuel grains, and then we stored them in like a rice container to keep them dry. And it was a lot of fun. We were cooking. The whole time we're like, this looks so good. I'm going to eat it. Yeah, it did look really good. It was like icing or something mixing it up. But yeah, don't tell me that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, propulsion. All right, next up, recovery. Titus on fire.
Christian, maybe.
Hello. Good evening, guys. So Titus is not yet on fire. The man has been going a little crazy with the tinder descenders this week. Next slide, please. All right, so for as far as completed tasks go, last week, I believe it's last week at least, time's a little crazy at the moment. We did the rubber band or shot cord tests. It's kind of ongoing. We're gonna keep messing around with the flakes and how many we do in the coming weeks. But our man Gustavo, the god, the myth, the man, the legend, he came by the lab late at night last week. He told us how to use the load cell. It's an absolute godsend. I'm sure we're going to be using it a whole lot in the coming years to do a lot of our tests. But just as a start to put it to some good use, we hooked it up to the shot cords there. Had Cheng Yu hold onto it on one end, Titus hold onto it on another, went running. Shot cord pulled apart, broke all the different flakes used on that cord. I think we recorded around 3 pounds of force to break 3 bundles of flaking with 3 rubber band windings per flake. So that was pretty cool. Good data to know. We also did some mock assembly runs in the past. We're going to do more in the future, I'm sure, moving up towards spaceport. Currently, we're doing a lot of craziness with tinted ascenders and just trying to make that configuration work and make sure we recover all the components used with them. We're going to be doing folding of the chutes, different knot tying techniques, flaking practice, you name it, in the coming weeks. And we've also going to start to drill the holes in the practice bulkhead we use. When we finish that up, we're going to move on to the final recovery bulkhead, make sure that's all nice and ready for spaceport. Then sometime around May 15th-ish, God willing, black powder, CO2, and tinted ascender ground tests. And maybe, just maybe, some parachute snatch force testing if we have time. That's going to be its own separate craziness involving putting everything in the recovery jar and tossing it off of the truck, but we'll see if we get to that. But that's pretty much recovery. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And lastly, we've got structures. You got one?
So unfortunately, Brandon, his back windshield was not broken into, but attempted to break into. So he's getting that replaced and fixed right now. So send your thoughts and prayers. And I'm sure he'd appreciate some money if anyone needs. But yeah, maybe he can send some pictures later on, but he just duct taped them over right now. But yeah, for structures, it's been a whole lot of late night labs, been in there too much, but it needs to get done. So big shout out to Brandon and the amount of work that he's been putting in. I know he's made some sacrifices in some of his classes, which he needs to get a move on with. But yeah, for completed tasks, we were able to do the fin manufacturing, which I talked about a little bit earlier. We were able to surface mount them to the airframe and also get the fillets done. So in the top right, you can see the kind of like 1/4-inch fillet of epoxy that just runs along the perpendicular contact between the fin and the airframe. The weight of each fin is roughly 18 or 19 grams. We also were able to do a prototype of the payload and avionics coupler, which you can see in the bottom right. We epoxied those rails onto the kind of like test airframe piece. We got the method down for how we want to epoxy them in place and guarantee that they're all 90 degrees apart in the for when the real coupler comes along. And then we also did some quick rail tensile testing. We had the rail button quickly epoxied to a spare piece of airframe. And then we had Izzy step on the rail button to test that epoxy bond. And it did not hold up, which is not really what we were looking for, but we know that in our installment of the rail buttons, which will take place in late night lab tonight, that will be a much stronger bond because we'll be using carbon fiber. We'll be vacuum bagging all of the air out of it, and it'll be a much better and much stronger bond that we're looking for. Current tasks, so we're prepping for that fin tip-to-tip layup process, which is why we're going to be in the lab late tonight. The rail button mounting, also why we're going to be in the lab late. The coupler and rail attachment, that will come after we're able to cut down our couplers to their necessary lengths and get the rails and epoxy prepped. Obviously, the tech report needs to be worked on, which Brandon and Structures is hopefully working hard at. And then the future tasks are going to be to drill the actual holes in the airframe that are required in the couplers as well, and also the nose cone. So busy stuff for Structures and the entire team. but really wanted to say thank you to everyone. I know the past week of April or month of April has been insane in terms of classes and the amount of work that we've had to put in on this rocket. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. And I really mean it when I say that you guys are some of the best people that I've ever worked with. And I really, really want you guys to know that what we're doing is something special. It's something I think you will always be able to talk about. If you missed the last AIAA general meeting, there were alumni who are 4 to 6 years into their career. And in every interview, they still talk about what they did on the Rocket team. So know that it's all worth it in the end. Keep your classes a priority, but obviously we'll appreciate any help that you can put in on the side. Your finals are coming up, but yeah, any questions about anything?
There are no questions. I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.